Okay, so the first thing you will notice in the new update of Where Winds Meet is you can actually select new characters without having to change your account. To start a new game or with a new character, you can now have up to 6 characters for the game. With many new updates, bug fixes, and quality of life changes, one of the best games of 2025 and possibly 2026 has only gotten better. Yes, we are talking about Where Winds Meet. Yo, what's up? It's your man and only Stotimon, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Shit in Where Winds Meet. Breakthrough 11 has recently been released, and we are going to prepare before we actually break through. First up, we want to go to the events tab and check on the login rewards. As of today, we'll get about 5-10 wonders powders. And if you want to get more of these, if you missed the first battle pass or the login rewards from the previous season, you could actually get makeup attempts by claiming those rewards by getting at least 150. By getting about 150 slips, you could make up these attempts and claim all those rewards that you may have missed. On the topic of 10 wonders powder, if you are short on healing items, you can actually claim a lot of those in the battle pass. If you go to the battle pass shop, aside from claiming the custom martial arts upgrades, which we'll find a better way to do as well, you want to claim the mystic skills breakthroughs and the Jianggu medicine box. By claiming these, you can have a choice of, as you can see, we've claimed 34 of these, and from these you can claim one of the 4 healing items in the game. Now, I've got a ton of these, the yin and ointments and the 10 wonders powder. For in this case, I would claim the 10 wonders powder. So that is 15 times 34 of these, which would give you a solid stock of healing items should you run low. Okay, so on to preparing for our breakthroughs. The first thing we want to make sure is our weapons, and to level up weapons, we are going to need some items, materials, and martial arts breakthroughs. And this way the game actually makes it easier for us. As you can see, we've got about 154 martial arts custom tips. And how did we get these? There's been a new feature added to the game called martial arts tip conversions. By doing this, you can actually swap all these other martial arts custom tips that do not correspond to your weapon for 4 tips that actually do correspond to your weapon. And this will make it a lot easier when leveling up your weapons and your martial arts. As you can see, we've done so for 3 weapons up to level 75. That is the Soul Shade Umbrella and Panacea Fan for healing. Panacea Fan we use for online healing our team. And the Soul Shade is when I do solos. I use that for healing. Next up, we'll be going through Inner Ways. In your Inner Ways menu, you want to select those that you have equipped. Go to Tips Recycle, and in this menu, you want to make sure you've locked those that you have equipped so that when you do swap these or exchange these, the ones that you need are not lost. From here, you want to head to the Tips Exchange menu. You can choose Customs. And we'll be choosing Bellstrike Splendor or Bellstrike Umbra. We can then swap those for those that we need. As you can see, we up now to 49 for Morale Chant, 4 for Sword Horizons, 60 for Better Seasons, and 32 for Battle Anthem. And we will need 100 of each of these to get to tier 5 and 200 to tier 6. This is one of the fastest ways to get the Inner Way notes that you need for your specific equip. Now, one of the best ways to get Inner Way chests is to go through the Heroes Realm, Sword Trials, Outpost Challenge, and for me, it's worked faster with the campaign. Since these bosses are taken down relatively quickly within a minute or 2, I've netted a good few, well over a couple of hundred Inner Way chests, and this allowed me to upgrade my Inner Way notes up to at least tier 4. Next up, we have Mystic Skills. Okay, so how do we upgrade Mystic Skills? One of the fastest ways to get the materials for Mystic Skills is to do the sword trials, joint battles for outpost challenges. These will give you the ebon irons you need. If you are looking for lower level ebon irons, for example at level 10 and above, or I think from level 9 and above, you will be able to get level 4 ebon irons. But if you are looking for lower level ebon irons, you want to drop your level down to at least, to find those level irons that you, to find those ebon irons that you are looking for, you want to drop your level downs. To get the level 1 ebon irons, you can go from beginner till at least level 4. And from level 5 to level 6, you can get the level 2 ebon irons. Do note that these might take a little bit longer to get into because you need at least 2 people in your party to join these outpost challenge or joint battles. But once you have a party, you can triple claim the rewards and you'll have more than enough of the ebon irons to actually upgrade your mystic arts or mystic skills. The next item that you will need is the mystic skills breakthrough items, such as the beauty plumes, Buddha roots, and so on. To get these, you can actually add these on your map. So it would be the Buddha's tear, vicious flowers, beauty's garments, everything that you need, and it will be marked on the map. And then you can actually go and farm them manually to collect the items that you need. However, how I've been doing it is only collecting the breakthrough materials from the season shop, and you get at least 10 of these boxes every week. This has made it easy for me to get all these skills that I have equipped to at least tier 4, which is the peak of the season, and that is before breakthrough 11. In our preparation for the next breakthrough, we will go to Divine Craft. In order to get the Divine Craft, we will need to farm some materials which can be found by also collecting all these Buddha's tears, mushrooms, any plants you come across that go towards Divine Craft upgrades. As you can see, we've already reached the version peak, which is at level 5 for all 3 of our Divine Craft. Next up, we'll take a look at the arsenal. So this is your tier 41s to tier 61s. Now, tier 61s, you could get some golds. This might take a little bit of time to farm it, but the more you can get out of your arsenals, the better your gear score as well. To obtain the full HP and stat bonuses from your arsenal as well. Next up, we'll be looking at gear slots. In order to upgrade the gear slots, you will need a few items, primarily oscillating jades, sometimes coarse furs and raw ores, and you're going to need a lot of coin. So how do we get the oscillating jade? Oscillating jades you can get from the season shop once a week. You'll get at least 100 of them, which is not a lot. The others you would need, you'll be able to get from the Wandering Paths, campaign challenges, sword trials, hero realms, outpost challenges as well. And with enough energy, you can triple claim your rewards, which will give you much more oscillating jades. For the coarse furs and raw ores, you could spend some money and go to the general vendors that will give you 99 each, which is quite a bit. However, how I've been doing it is just going to the season shop and getting 10 of these life skill boxes or life supply support boxes and using 5 of them for coarse furs and 5 of them for raw ores, which give me 100 each. But should you run out, you could always get some more from the vendors. The next item you would need a ton of is coin, and coin is rather difficult to come across in the game even when you're doing a lot of missions. So this is how I've found a way to make it easy to get 1,000,000 coins in Where Winds Meet. The only items I take in the week is the oscillating jades, mystic skills breakthrough, and the life supply support box. This gives me a ton of fish that I can then use to buy a string of coins. For instance, I'll be getting 502 of these string of coins or coin bags. And if we purchase those for 15,000 jade fish, I'll be getting 500,000 coins. And as you can see, towards development, that has given me 1.2 million worth of coins. Now, if you want to get 1 million worth of coins, it might take you at least 2 weeks to save up some jade fish if you just buying the necessities from the season shop, but you could easily get 1 million coins that way. Next up, we have the gear. Now, Where Winds Meet with the latest update has made it a lot easier to get the gear that you want. As you can see, I'm using the Mist Willow set for my weapons and the Flawless Defense set for my armor. Okay, so in order to find a guaranteed Mist Willow set, we would need to go to one of the bosses in the campaign challenge that gives the Mist Willow set, guaranteed Mist Willow set, and that would be the River Master. If you haven't beaten him, he is a little bit tough in the story, but once he gets to the campaign challenges, he becomes very easy and you can take him down within a minute or so. After beating him, you can triple claim rewards. I've gotten sometimes up to 8, even 9 weapons and armor pieces from the Mist Willow and Beyond the Chill set, and this allowed me to get my set even faster. For the armors, I just grinded. For the armor set, I grinded all bosses that I could get from. There are 2 bosses that would be Tian Ying only gives Greaves, and the God of Avarice only gives Greaves. All these other bosses give you all the other pieces aside from Greaves. So you need to grind Tian Ying or God of Avarice. I think God of Avarice would be a lot easier to get the Greaves set. Now, once you do have the weapon set that you want, or even the level of gear that you want, what you could do is swap the item for the gear set that you are actually looking for. For example, with Mist Willows, we found a few sets and you get 8 attempts in the season. So we swapped it to the Mist Willow set, and this gave us all the weapons of Mist Willow that we needed. We even got a Panacea fan as an extra weapon. And when it came to gear, this is how I used all my attempts, basically. From the 8 attempts that we have available, this is how I used my free swaps to swap to the Flawless Defense set for my armor pieces. Legendary gear sets only get purple or gold affixes. If you want to go for attunements, you can guarantee that as well. Even with this, with the new update, we've also received some new items. Legendary Melodic Stones for Fiery Heart at tier 71. These will guarantee gold traits or affixes for your gear. We've got the purple one as well, which guarantees epic. And you get these for other tiers as well. So you could use these to boost your gear arsenal. Once you're satisfied with the gear, you should be at a 20,000 plus build, even with the new bonus that was given in the update. The only thing that we are short right now is the legendary bow and ring. In order to get the legendary bow, however, we would need to obtain the recipe from taking on the bosses in the sword trial. And after defeating these bosses, we'll get the recipe for the legendary bow. Going back to the bow, however, we will need some items to actually craft this bow, because we only have a 10% chance for an epic and a 3% chance for a legendary bow. To get timber, you just need to chop down a bunch of trees in the bamboo forest, bamboo areas. That's one of the fastest way to collect timber. For the weasel pelts, you can either hunt weasels or purchase them from the general vendor. The beef tendons you could collect easy from doing the outpost challenges, as you can see from the Buddha Fort, or Red Pavilion, and Green Archers. These are the type of enemies that drop the beef tendons. And we are aiming to get at least 500 of each, so I can make about 50 bows to get a guaranteed legendary, hopefully. For the Bloodlink ring, we will need to farm up some Dushan Blue Jades, which we can get from the general goods vendor, but it's only 50. Pheasant feathers we can also buy from a general vendor or hunt them, which is pretty decent, because when you are hunting them manually, you get at least 2 to 3 feathers per pheasant that you kill, making it a little bit easier to stock up on those feathers. The other item we will need is the raw ores, but that's also pretty easy to get from the general vendors. I'm also going to save up a couple of hundred, or at least a fair bit, that I can craft multiple of these rings at a time to increase my chances of getting a legendary ring. If you feel like you are lacking and not sure where to go, click on the improvement guide. This will take you to your stats and your gear. It will show you where you are lacking. As you can see, with mystic skills, we are on green, so that's basically as far as it can go at our current breakthrough. Anyways, we should be good to go, but we can still advance it to tier 6. We are currently headed to tier 5. For the martial arts, that's our weapons. Those are at the max level currently. And for our character, as you can see, we still need at least about 4 talent points that I need to collect and clear up the Kai Fang melodies. For gear, as you can see, all these are pretty much green, although they could be improved with my affixes, attunements, and so forth. But where we are lacking is basically only the thumb ring and the bow, because those are on epic level. And we need to get those to legendary. There are also a bunch of rewards that you can collect from these menus that will help towards leveling up. There's an items that will help with breakthroughs and such. Okay, so now that we are ready and we've got everything that we needed, we are going to go ahead and break through to breakthrough 11. As you notice, these are all epic weapons that we don't really need right now at tier 71. So we've got them all on the auto recycle. In order to activate the auto recycle, you click on the menu. You can click on the bag menu and then click on the gear on the top right. And this will allow you to enable auto repairs and even auto recycle. And then you can choose what level of gear you'd like to auto recycle. So the minute it comes into your inventory, it is auto recycle. And since it's a lot easier now to get legendary affixes and attunements, I've just been recycling all my blue and purple gear. Now we'll head to the improvement menu and see where we are currently lacking. Okay, so for our character, we still have our talents, traits, and Kai Fang melodies to collect. We will need to go to level 80 and get our medicine chest up. For the martial arts, we need to get our weapons to level 80. For anyways, we need to break through to tier 4 for our battle anthem, and the rest should be okay once we get to level, or at least tier 6. For mystic skills, we are still on point. And for gear, we still are only lacking with the thumb ring and the bow. So we'll go ahead now and break through our main weapon, which is the strategic sword. And currently we are lacking with Belt Strike Umbra trips. What I'll do is click on the breakthrough, click on confirm since we have 32, and confirm because we have a box of 154, which we recycled from extra tips that we didn't need, that weren't for the specific weapon that we have equipped. We can take from those, and that will give us more than enough to break through our weapon to tier 9 to get to level 80. We can then level up our weapon to at least level 76 currently, and as you can see, it does take a lot of coins. As you can see, it does take a lot of coins to level up. It went from 20,000 to 30,000, and that's why I've been stocking up on coins to get at least 1.3 million currently. Next, we'll do so for our umbrella as well. We'll select that. Remember, when you do have these chests, don't open them up. You want to click on breakthrough. The breakthrough will then take you to those that you have extra, and you can just choose those selected, so you don't overuse or waste them on skills and breakthroughs that you don't currently need upgraded right now. You can always save those for the next breakthrough. I think I'll do that for my Panacea fan as well. And then we can also upgrade that to level 76. As you can see, we had 3 weapons, and with those 156 that we had available of the martial arts slips, we were able to upgrade and break through 3 weapons. Okay, so we will need to take our battle anthem to tier 4. We need at least 8 more pages, so I'll keep swapping those as I collect, and then slowly work our way to 100 pages for tier 5 and 200 pages for tier 6. And currently that is the level cap of Where Winds Meet. Level 11 breakthrough is the highest